Hi, everybody. Recruiting Animal here on April 2nd, 2025. We've got two great people here already to start the show with, and I have a problem that I want to talk about. I was reading the Random Recruiter on Twitter or X this week, and he said he gave a case of a candidate had computer problems with his internet or something like that, and he said, and so his client automatically wasn't interested in the guy, okay? And so, he said, well, you know what? These candidates should know how to operate their technology. Sometimes the technology fails. My hard drive disappeared a minute before the show started with my show notes on it, okay? I prepared them yesterday. I was looking at them 10 minutes ago. Just before the show started, I got a problem. So what would you guys do if your client came back to you and said, your candidate's an idiot. He doesn't know how to operate his tech.
It would depend on what the tech was. If his internet was down, that's not his fault, right? If it's legitimate.
Internet went down, right? Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. How is that his fault? I don't even know. I sit at my computer, and for whatever reason, our internet's down at my house or my router broke. Give me a second, I'll call you on my phone or whatever. And yeah, I would push back hard on the employer. Like, dude, are you serious? You're gonna, ixnay the candidate because his internet went down, and he was more than happy to interview. He just needed to get that fixed. You're gonna penalize him for that. We're not talking about not knowing how to turn his computer on.
Would you use that tone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. If I had a client say to me, "Hey, we were not going to interview him," I'm like, "Well, what happened?" He goes, "His internet was down and he couldn't get onto the Teams call." I go, "Did you give him a chance to go from his phone or anything?" No. If he can't figure out his internet, we don't want him. I would be like, "Dude, what are you talking about? Has your internet ever went down?"
It happens to me. I live in a big city with the brand name internet provider, and it goes down. They don't warn me. It just goes down sometimes for a few hours at a time. It's hard to tell. So you'd come down hard. See, I think that's good to know, not just, I discuss it with the client, but I would take a very strong stance.
I've said this a million times. Sometimes you have to ask hard questions or you have to push back. If you're not willing to push back or ask the hard questions, why are you doing this job?
Okay. Dominic, you want to get in on this? Or you seem very busy. I don't want to bug you.
No, I'd give it an opportunity. I mean, you would hope that most people, like when my wife was doing an interview, I'd made sure she had 2 laptops ready to go set up. But if it's an internet issue, what are you gonna do? Try to do it from your phone. I wouldn't disqualify somebody off that.
Now, hold on. Now that's interesting. You've got 2 laptops going. So if one of the computers fails, you can switch over to the other. That's pretty interesting. I've had problems with my mice. Sometimes when I start the show, my mouse dies. So now I have 2 of them going. And Michael G. Cox told me he does the same thing for his video interviews. He's got 2 mice going at the same time. But even so, the example the Random Recruiter gave, which is just what you guys just mentioned, his internet went out. That's not the fault of the candidate. And I like that you're willing to scold the client. Dominic, would you take that scolding attitude that Tom did, or would you be more soft pedal it?
I would just make sure they understand, listen, we're headhunters, we're bringing you top talent. Because he missed out his internet, I would get that rescheduled. I would not disqualify him for that and push back hard on him, let him know how hard it is to find top talent right now in this market.
It was unreasonable. Would you walk away?
I don't know, because it might just be that one person, right? I don't know how the whole team is. Just depends. I have to know the whole situation.
Yeah, oftentimes Animal paints us in a corner. These black and white, questions and answers, and it's and that's the point.
Yeah.
If it's just one client, I'm pushing back. But if it's the whole team, then let's figure out what the problem is, and can the team push back on that one guy? I mean, there's a lot of answers to this. But in general, I'm going to push back, and I'm going to push back hard if the only reason why you don't want to interview him is because his internet broke down. That's not his fault.
Okay, that was the reason in this case.
Did he get on the call and then it was off, or was he just not on it?
I don't think he got on the call because his internet went out. And look at me. I had this tech problem a
I mean,
minute
I would have
before
called the
show
employer
started.
immediately and be like, "Hey, this is Tom Alassio. We were scheduled to have an interview. Whatever reason, my internet's down. I think I can do it on my phone. If you want to give me a second, if not, we can just talk over the phone. What would you like to do, Mr. Employer?" If the candidate did that, that's
There you
fine.
go.
Or if the candidate didn't have the client's number and then called the recruiter and go like, "Hey, man, my internet's down. I don't know. I need his number. Can you call him for me? Or can you give me his number?" That's too. Like there's, like I always said, a lot of these times there's missing context to these situations.
Yeah, it's
Right.
just sort of like your internet has been freezing for the last few minutes in the middle of what I don't know if you know it, but
Yeah.
it's for me. So that's the same thing. If I don't think I can't imagine any client being stupid enough to rule someone out because their internet was freezing. Okay, but you never know. You never know. Some of these people are wild.
Yeah. And you don't know too. It's, think about this. They could be pissed off already because they went through all these, resumes, and these people, they get them on a call, and then their fake AI tailored resume realizes it's not the candidate who I thought I was interviewing. They're pissed. And now they get on the phone with this guy. No, he's just not showing up. He's missing it. So who knows? I got to know the whole situation.
Okay, and here's something. This is for Tom, really. This woman, I was watching her. Here's an issue for Tom. This woman, I was watching her. She said that your AI, when you're using your AI tool, you should talk to it like you talk to a person, and it takes on different roles. So
I say please, thank you, all the time.
And that you should tell it to take a certain perspective. Like, I want you to think like an expert headhunter.
Yes, yeah. So you want to say things like, you are a expert headhunter in structural and civil engineering, and you're about to craft an email to a prospective client about a structural engineer who's looking to make a job change and move to Chicago. Right. Like, so, and there's also some arguments about, do you want to say expert? Do you want to say seasons? Do you want to say you're a headhunter with 25 years experience in whatever industry? There's certain ways you can kind of work through that prompt, right? And how that you're telling the AI what they are, right? You are a expert marketer, and you've had 25 years experience in business to business marketing as it pertains to commercial cleaning. I need you to write this, right? So the more information you give it, the more the AI will think about what it's going to do. And Dominic likes Perplexity, and the reason why Perplexity is good is because it will do research before it answers the question, right? So you'll say to it, hey, give me a I want to do something, and I need statistics on X, Y, and Z. And I want to put together a presentation based on these statistics. Perplexity actually goes out and looks for those statistics. It will take its time and read all the stuff that's about the statistics of, let's say, how often people accept a counteroffer, right? And then get fired within 6 months or whatever. Let's say it's that, right? So asking it those questions in a certain way gets it to do better research for you.
Okay, she said the reason is, if I understood her correctly, is that if you tell it what identity it has, it takes a different approach to the research. It's less confusing for the tool.
Correct. Yeah, that's what I said, basically, in a long way. Yeah, you're just telling it what to be.
Like the example you gave.
You're telling it what to be. You're telling it what to be and what to do. The more thorough you are and the more information you give it, the better the prompt is, right? So the more you say, like she was saying, you are a seasoned structural engineer, or you can say you are a structural engineer with 20 years experience in structural design, or you are an expert in structural engineering and design, right? Those are three different ways to say that same thing. But one gives more cadence to how many years.
Give an example for a recruiter doing a search. What would you say?
Okay, so it depends on what you got to give me what you're trying to. Well,
you
right?
use these things all the time.
Yeah, well, like if I was going to say, okay, I'm a recruit. You're a recruiter, and you have 20 years experience in sourcing and research when it comes to finding candidates in logistics and supply chain. Can you give me a list of the top logistics and supply chain companies that are actively hiring in North America?
Okay.
right? Versus, can you give me a list of the largest logistics and supply chain companies in North America that are currently hiring? Right? That's what most people would do. Most people would say, can you give me a list of the biggest supply chain and logistic companies in North America that are currently hiring or that are looking to expand, right? But you can add a lot more to that if you say, you are a seasoned researcher and sourcer in the recruitment for logistics and supply chain. Can you please give me all the logistic and supply chain companies that are larger than this size in North America?
Why would that make a difference?
Because the AI is going to think differently.
I don't. Why
And
would
just asking it a question.
That's a neutral topic.
You're not understanding what AI will do. And I'm no expert on this, right? And I can't explain it probably properly. And if someone's watching this, maybe they'll chime in or comment, right? But it's how the AI thinks. The AI thinks, and it does what you tell it to do. And the more you tell it to do, narrow it down and tell it certain things, the better results you're going to get, or the more information you're going to get, or the more concise information.
More, but let me ask a few follow-ups. You said that Dominic uses Perplexity. Dominic, that's your favorite?
Right now it is. I use all of them.
But depends on the thing too, right?
Yeah,
Dom?
it depends on what
everything.
exactly. So just depends on what I'm trying to do. Like if I'm trying to optimize a LinkedIn profile for somebody, Tom and I have an amazing tool on Typing Mind that we use.
Oh, you're also into Typing Mind, eh? You use.
Yeah, you just gotta stay up on all of them.
Okay.
And certain ones do different things better than others. And I love Perplexity is really good right now.
I added 30 more models to Typing Mind.
Wow.
Because there's a thing called Open Router, and they give you an API key for every model out there, and there are about 50 free models. So I got Dolphin, I got Llama, I got Microsoft, all these ones that are free.
Okay, and you guys notice a difference though in the results you're getting.
Oh my God.
Big time.
Yeah. I could do side-by-side searches right now. One prompt, show you 7 different results on 7 different models and how they do it, and then take that prompt and add more context to the prompt. Like let's say the prompt is, write an email about me buying a lion for my mom, right? And then you'll get 7 different emails from 7 different large language models. Then I can say, you're an expert copywriter who knows how to write sympathetic emails and put stuff in context. Write an email to my mother explaining to her why I bought a lion. And it'll be a totally different email.
Okay, that's a little different. But if you're looking for like 1 and 1 is always going to be 2, whatever tool you're using to figure it out.
You're never looking for 1 + 1, are you?
I don't know. Yeah, you are. If you want a list of the structural engineering companies in Chicago, yeah, that's a fixed.
Okay. Structural engineering companies in Chicago. Or do you want a list of the structural engineering companies in Chicago that have more than 100 people that do commercial building design? Or do you want a list of the structural engineering companies in Chicago with more than 200 people that do bridge design? Right? There's a lot more into that.
That's the thing. No, but we started out talking about this. When you tell the AI tool who you are or who it is, I don't see, it doesn't matter if you're a 5-year-old kid or someone with 20 years experience in recruiting, there's still going to be the same number of.
I want you to repeat what you said. And whether a 5-year-old kid or somebody with 20 years experience in recruiting, they're not going to get different results.
Not if they're asking for the structural engineering companies in Chicago, no matter what.
Okay, well, you have to remember, you're not, okay, you're asking, ask a 5-year-old, tell large language model, you're a 5-year-old, give me a list of all the structural engineering firms in Chicago.
Yeah.
You're a 20 years experienced sourcer and expert in sourcing, give me the 20 top structural engineering firms in Chicago.
It's the same companies.
No, it's not, because what makes them top 20? Okay, what makes them top 20? Top 20 in size, top 20 in sales, top 20 in hire. Like, that's what I'm talking about, right? So top 20, what does top 20 mean?
Okay, now you're changing it. I wanted a full list. Now you're saying top 20. There's a judgment.
No, you said top 20. You said top 20.
I must have amnesia then, because I don't remember saying it. Let me
so give me something that you think is 1 + 1. Tell me what you think is 1 + 1.
Well, that's what. Give me a list of all the structural engineering companies in Chicago. There's only so many of them.
Okay, so that's just so simple that yes, that's 1 + 1. But that's not what you use AI for, right? I can go right now to Yellow Pages and get all the structural engineering firms in Chicago. What you want AI to do is give you specific structural, that's why I said you're an expert sourcer and researcher. Give me the top 20 structural engineering firms in Chicago that do commercial building design as it relates to institutional, hospitality, and educational that are on a major hiring path or have hired people in the last 3 years or have open jobs.
Okay.
You can't do that on Google.
No, Dominic will be the decider here, okay? Is it me, Dominic, who's right, saying the answer is the answer no matter who's looking for it? Or is Tom right, that it makes a difference if you tell the AI you're a genius recruiter or a 5-year-old kid?
I never tried to say I was a 5-year-old kid, so I don't know, because me and Tom were doing the same prompt. So I don't know.
The answer is yes. I'm right. You're wrong.
Maybe I'll try it. I'll say I'm a 5-year-old. Tell me all the structural engineering firms in Chicago.
You're 5, but there's only one answer that it could give you, no matter who you are. Okay, whether you're a job hunter or a recruiter or a hiring manager or whatever. Okay, a reporter doing research. Here's another question, though. Now I'm remembering some of them, but I want to follow up on that Perplexity. Why do you say Perplexity's best? How can you tell Perplexity's fantastic right now compared to some other? Can you specify that with some experience you've had?
Yeah. So, if you want to take this, Dom, or do you want me?
Go ahead. I'll let you do it, and I'll tell mine.
So what AI does that's different is AI researches real-time data, and it shows you what it's doing, right? So when you ask it a question, you'll see it'll repeat the question. The user's looking for X, Y, and Z. Let's search the internet for X, Y, and Z, and you'll see it computing, right? And showing like, oh, this is what we're looking for. And then when it puts you the information together, then it has all the footnotes of where it got it, right? So the way the research is done is much more in depth and has footnotes and cite sources. So if you're using it for something like for let's take the counteroffer, for example. Let's say you're writing an article on counteroffer and you want to cite stuff about counteroffers and say, I'm writing a blog post about counteroffers. Please, look at the statistics for how often a person accepts a counteroffer and they're no longer in their job after 6 months. What percentage of people accept counteroffers or ended up leaving in the first year? Blah 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 blah. Right, and it'll do all that research for you and then cite the research below it. So when you write the blog post, then you could actually put those little research posts at the bottom.
Okay, you're going on and on. I mean,
that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen in OpenAI or Anthropic or in Google, right? Those things don't happen. They just give you an answer.
Okay.
And you don't know if it's right or wrong, right? You have to kind of go back and go, okay, where did you get this from?
Sure you let the Dominic his mind wander. Okay, do you agree with everything he said? Is that the reason you like Perplexity, or is there some other reason? And
that's a major reason, because you get the sources, so I can go back and check. All right, where are the sources coming from?
You mean like
for example,
footnotes?
Yeah, and here's yesterday I had a candidate, and he's not even interviewing for a company that I work with, but I was wanting to help him. He's an executive, right? So he goes, hey Dom, I need to find out about your technology's North America footprint in the automotive sector. What's their total revenue? This, that. I literally broke it down for him by vertical with sources. Here's this, here's that. And then I gave him a list of questions that he should ask them for the interview. I can share and show you. It's pretty cool.
Hey, this is Brent Skinner, host of Small Talk Window here at the Work Defined Podcasting Network. Have you ever wanted a short podcast to listen to during a coffee break of your workday? You've come to the right place. My guests dispense with the small talk as quickly as possible and settle into a meaningful conversation around the world of work.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm looking at one. I'm looking at something I did the other day, and it just shows like it's like privacy concerns, right? And then there's like a 9. You click on the 9, and it takes you to an article about the 5 reasons you need to, fix this or fix that, and it's all the reasons why. Right? Like, so anytime you do a Perplexity search, it's for deep, even if it's not deep research. Here you go. Yeah, look, see all the footnotes, Animal, on some of his stuff. Like, go to number 5. There's a little footnote at the end of number 5. The end, and click on that number 5, Dominic. Or that. Yeah, let's click on any of those. Doesn't matter. Click on that. It takes you to where it got it.
Right.
So it got this from Reddit, right? Yeah. And then
here's all your sources right here. Sources 18.
Yeah, right there.
Okay. Okay. And how did you figure that out? Just by trying different ones and comparing them? Say, hey, I really like what I'm getting from Perplexity. Is that how you just stumbled upon
Well, I
it?
think
Yeah,
both,
and then
what's his
talking with
name?
Tom and going on these
What's
networking
his name
recruiting
told us
calls.
about Perplexity. What's his name?
Tobias.
Tobias. Yeah, Tobias told us about Perplexity. He's a bigger expert than we are.
I don't know Tobias.
He's an
Okay.
He works
18-year-old.
for Dom.
I got another AI question, though. There's AI therapy bots, okay? And people use them. They say it's available 24/7 and it's very empathetic, okay? It's sympathetic to your problems. I was thinking people always want accountability partners, or if you're a solo recruiter, you feel like discussing your business problems with somebody. That sounds fantastic. I mean, you can't always get somebody to be available for as an accountability partner. You might not even want to tell them how lazy you are or whatever you're procrastinating on your faults, right? But if you're talking to a machine that's kind of nice to talk to, that's a great opportunity. You guys agree?
I don't know if you have to pay for that, but there's prompts for therapy prompts where it basically you can get ChatGPT to act or whoever to act as a therapist for you. And you can talk, I don't know if you have the ChatGPT Pro or I have the Playground. You can talk to it. You could turn on the thing and just have a conversation back and forth with it.
And so it could be
That's
your
cool.
business buddy, in other words. It could be
you could start off with I want you to be a therapist in ADHD and OCD because I have issues with that. Can you help me work through some issues? And it'll say yes. What can I help you with? You go, well, I have ADHD. Shiny objects are all around. Can you help me work my way through this? Where's some tasks that I could work on? And it'll give you tasks.
How about this one? I want you to be exactly like Tom Alascio, an expert recruiter with 20 or 30 years experience, and help me solve some of these issues. What should I do in this situation?
So you're probably not going to. I'm not famous enough, right, for AI to know who I am.
You have a lot of data online. You've got a big footprint.
It might, right? But I would be more like Danny Cahill, Steve Finkel, say. Taking what Danny Cahill, Steve Finkel, and Pete Lefkowitz, all industry trainers, do. How do I work through this problem? Right. So that's probably going to be a better prompt for that than Tom Alascio.
Now, would it have to learn that over time, or would it be able to give you immediate, have a conversation with you? Like just to, for instance, everybody, Tom's the guy with 3 recruiting shows going right now. Friday regular show. Let's do an ad for him. What's the URL?
The Recruiter Round, www.therecruiterroundtable.com will get you to the Recruiter Roundtable at 12:30 and Ask a Recruiter at 5 p.m. every Tuesday. Recruiter Roundtable is every 12:30 at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
On Fridays. You didn't say Friday, okay? So he's got a Tuesday show at 5 o'clock. He's got a Friday show at 12:30 in the afternoon, and he's got a show on Loxo, the applicant tracking system, once a month, right? On Thursdays?
That's correct.
Okay. And if you
go to Thursday.
If you go to that URL, what's the URL? What's
www.therecruitingroundtable.com.
Okay. So this guy's got a big footprint. Okay. He's got 3 shows going. So, but now I lost my train of thought, but what I'm asking is how long would it take? Oh yeah, I know we'll do Dominic's in a second too. So let's take a breath between them. Thanks for reminding me. Okay, so if I would say that I want to talk to me, I admire this guy Dominic Miani. Is that how you say it, Dominic?
Yeah.
Miani? Okay, and I think he's a great recruiter. I would like to be like him. You see things from his point of view, and I want to discuss my business problems with you. Could the ChatGPT or the Perplexity or whatever it is, could you have regular conversations with it about your problems and drawing on what it knows if it takes time to go through your YouTube channels? Is that possible? That sounds fantastic. Too good to be true.
I think it's coming. It's coming. I don't think it's there yet, but I think it's coming. And the guy that I talked to yesterday, I got to send this call to you actually, Tom. I want you to meet this guy.
Okay.
It's coming. And it's coming faster than a lot of us think.
Here you go right now, just to kind of give you an idea of what's going on.
But
Acting
wait,
like the recruiter trainer, Steve Finkel, Pete Lefkowitz, and Danny Cahill, how would you handle the objection? They're actually, it just said they are researching Steve Finkel, Danny Cahill, Pete Lefkowitz, and walking you through how they would do this. And then there are the things. Here are the, we can look at the research that they use to find this, right? So sources, counteroffer Steve Finkel, Stockholm Syndrome, and the recruiter, create 6 ways to improve candidate recruiting by Steve Finkel, blog according to Danny Cahill, and Jan Lambert. They found all this information and then built that.
Can it talk to me? Remember I said I started off with this AI therapy bot, and it's empathetic. It's sympathetic with you. I'm going to say sympathetic. Empathy means it understands your problem. Sympathy means it nurtures you. Okay. So, so that's not doing that. It's just showing me articles. Okay. I'm talking about a buddy, like I was talking to you, but in the meantime as well, the AI would be stealing your intellectual property. Dominic comes on once a week. He's a fantastic recruiter with a great track record, and he's given out this information on his show. All of a sudden, Perplexity or ChatGPT is pretending it's coming from sort of them. Do you know what I mean? It's stealing stuff.
I don't know. I need to look and see. Like, I know that they'll talk back to you as a therapist. I don't know if they'll talk back to you as a
buddy, or
consultant. No, they'll talk to you as a buddy, but will they talk to you as me, or will they talk to you as Steve Finkel, or will they talk to you as Danny Cahill? I don't know that.
Like, with sort of like that person. Okay, so let's talk about Dominic's show. Dominic's show is focused on business development. Am I right, Dominic?
Correct.
Okay, and it's 12:30 or 12 o'clock on Thursdays.
12 on Thursdays.
12?
Every Thursday.
12
Yeah, same link. Same
12
link
Eastern.
every week. 12
Oh,
Eastern. Yeah.
Eastern. 12 Eastern.
Yep.
Tomorrow's Thursday, and it's 12, and it's an hour long, right?
Yeah, sometimes we go longer. It just
Okay.
depends.
And what's the format? Just anyone who calls in can ask business development questions. Is that
Yeah.
what
Wherever you're struggling with, what are you running into? What's working? What tools are you using? What AI is working for you? Just anything, any tips, tricks.
Okay, so I got to come to your show, but what is the URL if I want to get there?
I just put it in the chat. I got to figure out how to do it like Tom. It's
You can't figure that out.
I just haven't had
do
time
what?
to adjust the link, change the link to a private link.
All you do is buy the URL
Yeah,
and have
go
it
to
directed to
GoDaddy
wherever
and
you want
buy
it to go.
it.
Mine directs to the YouTube, but you can direct the link to wherever you want it to. So if your video call link is the OZN EKIV, you would just buy roundtable bizdev.com and then have it go there, or dominicrecruiter.com and have it go there.
I would make
Okay.
it either bdshow.com or businessdevelopmentshow.com. Those are pretty good, especially business development show. Google will be able to understand. It will come on for searches, for people do searches for the keyword business development. So
That's a good idea.
business development is going to be gone, but business development show might be available, for $30 or whatever you guys have to pay. It cost me 32 now, Canadian. Oh, today's Liberation Day. It reminds me of the Great Leap Forward. It's Trump's Liberation Day, where he socks it to us over here north of the border. I won't go on about that, but we're very angry, just so you guys know. Okay, so I think
so real quick, I wanted to show you this animal so you could try this on your own. I'm assuming that you know how to get. Do you use
I use ChatGPT and Gemini, right?
Okay. So here, check this out. So this is when you use ChatGPT, you also have access to the platform, OpenAI platform. This is the OpenAI platform, right? Which is similar to what you use on ChatGPT. But see here at the top right, system instructions.
Yeah.
Your knowledge cutoff is 20, 30, 10. You are a helpful, witty, and friendly AI. Act like a human, but remember that you aren't a human, that you can do human things in the real world. So you can change this to act like a buddy who's helping me, or a therapist in HDAD, or act like a recruiter like Steve Finkel.
A recruiting consultant.
Yeah, you can change this here in the system's instructions of how you want this to act.
Okay.
And then have right here where it says start session. Right now I can talk to it. Hey, how are you today, ChatGPT? Can you help me deal with my ADHD?
Okay. Well, by the way, I've got a new tagline for Rich. I didn't get to use it today because he's not here. It's the recruiter who became a legend in his own time. So I thought I'd create them for you other guy regulars as well. I couldn't, nothing came to mind for you, Tom. So if you got something to suggest to me, put it out there. You could use it on your own show as well. I would use it for you and Dominic when he comes here too.
Yeah.
But I'd have to think, because what I was doing, I was watching old shows, Bat Masterson, and that's the way they introduce it. Pat Masterson, a gunfighter who became a legend in his own time, or something like that. So I like that. Let me go to a different thing. Okay, this is about counteroffers. Okay, so before you submit any candidate, you ask if they spoke to their manager about their pain points yet, right? Does anybody actually tell them to do that?
No.
No. Okay. Ernie does. Ernie says that. Says I'm pretty sure, because how would they do it? How would you go to your manager and talk? Like I know what I've been here 5 years and I haven't had a promotion for the last 3, and I'm not happy about it. Is there got anything in store for me? Could you go to your boss and do that without?
I mean, you could do that, but a little more diplomatically. I might say, "Hey, boss, I've been here 5 years. Where do you see me in the company in the next 3 to 5? I hadn't had a promotion, and I feel I'm a little stagnant. Where can I see myself in the next 3 to 5 years?" You could do that one. And that's a little better, maybe a little more, not maybe don't even say stagnant. Just say, "Hey, man, I've been here 5 years. I'm excited about the growth of the company. Where do you see me in the next 3 to 5 years? I mean, I know I haven't been promoted yet, but is that coming?" You could ask those questions.
Okay, because the recruiter should talk to the candidate before an offer comes. If someone wants to join, who's that? Donna Terrell. Okay, so
Donna Bobana.
Yeah, Donna. Yeah, right.
Okay, so here's.
Wait a sec. Let me read this to you. He says that you should say to your candidate, if your current employer were to match or slightly exceed our offer, how would you feel about staying? Okay. What would make our opportunity a better fit? So you're looking if there's anything wrong by saying, is there something? Hi, Donna. Is there something you need? Okay, but the first part was the key part. If your current employer was to match our offer, how would you feel about staying there? Okay.
So I usually start with, tell me why this job is better than the one you have now, or tell me why this.
At what point do you ask that question? When do you ask that question?
After the first Well, the first thing I asked is, I know I called you, but what would motivate you to leave your current company? And I use the word current because that denotes something different. Like if I say, what do you like about your current wife versus what do you like about your wife? One gets you on the couch, right? So use current because it has like an allure of not being permanent, right? So I say, I know we called you Animal, but what would motivate you to leave your current position or your current company? And you wait to hear what he says. And if it's just money, then you kind of dig on that. But if it's like, well, I've been here for 5 years, I haven't been promoted. If you talk to your boss about that, you talk a little bit about that, but I still send them out. And then after he sent them out, when he comes back after their first interview, hey, how did things go? It was great. Okay, so tell me what is better about this opportunity than the one you currently have now? And it has to be something besides money, or counteroffer is gonna happen. So it's a process with me, at least. What would motivate you to leave your current company, even though I called you? And now that after you've interviewed, why is this opportunity better than the one you have now?
I'm making the offer to the candidate. And so am I going to ask?
If you haven't asked those 2 questions yet, don't fucking make that offer.
Okay, no, but he says you should make it immediately before the offer. What did I say? You didn't address if it came as a counteroffer, the money's the same. Or if he says, look, he's going to give you $20,000 more than we are if you stay. Okay, well, what are you going to do? I mean,
because you should have been talking about that beforehand. If you're not talking about that beforehand, and the candidate doesn't understand that they're going to get counteroffered, and they can't give you legitimate reasons why your opportunity is better besides money, then the counteroffer, you can't stop the counteroffer, and counteroffers happen even when you cover it.
Okay, you didn't say anything. Sorry, everybody. I will have to drag him out on this. You didn't say anything about a counteroffer. He's talking about addressing the counteroffer issue. I love what you said, by the way, and this pertains to what I'd said about those AI, consultant bots. If you could, say, how should I handle this candidate? And like Tom Elascio would, and
I
it came
disagree
back with,
with you.
came back with that clip. Wait, let me finish.
What do you want me to answer? Tell me the question.
You
Answer the
answered
question.
it. You
No,
answered it. You didn't use the
I'm
word
going to defend
amongst
you. Go ahead.
I am.
Your girlfriend
Because-
showed up to defend you.
I just came on just for Tommy. This is because he did address the counter offer. He just didn't use the words counter offer. And that's the beauty of it, because he's already having the discussion and having the candidate think this way, learning why he wants to leave or she wants to leave before you ever get to the counter offer point. And that's what Tommy's point is. You have to do that first. If you wait till the counter offer to have the counter offer discussion, you have waited too long. You should never get there without knowing.
You have to bring up the word counteroffer. Say, get the
Not in the
person-
beginning. You don't in the beginning.
Not
In the beginning,
Talk about the beginning. Okay, let's ask Mumbles over here. Dominic, he's so different from the
Well,
rest.
can I say before you do that, can I say one thing?
Yeah,
I asked this question too. When you go to resign, what usually happens at your company? When someone goes to resign, what usually happens? Do they show him the door? Do they make him work out his 2 weeks notice? Do they counteroffer him? Do you have any idea? I also asked that question. That's where counteroffer kind of comes in, right? So like I said, it's a process, right? You have to ask the current, what do you like about your current company? What would motivate you to leave? Then why is this job better than the one you have now? And then if and when we get you an offer, what happens when you resign? All that leads to talking about the counteroffer. But you got to start here.
what about this question, though? What happens if they offer you more money, considerably more than we're offering?
That
Yeah.
question should have been answered through that whole thing. It's not about the money. Stop focusing on the money.
I just
If they
had
focus
this
on the money,
happen. I just had
if
this
they
happen
always
with
focus on
someone we
money,
hired.
fuck 'em.
We just went through this because we had a candidate, we're going through it, and same thing, like even internally we have all those same discussions, so that by the time we get there, and again, and we're talking about his resignation, we're talking about the counter offer, it's already in his head all the reasons why he's leaving that have nothing to do with money. So he's now telling me and articulating to me, even if they offer me more money, I mean, that's not why I'm going. Like, I don't even have to say
Thank
that.
you.
He's saying it. And that's the beauty of not leading with, hey, what are you going to do when you get a counteroffer? But instead having all these other conversations where they're thinking of it and they're realizing it.
And if all they're saying to you the entire time is, well, if they give me more money, if the offer's better, if I have a better company car, if I get more, if the benefits are cheaper, if all they're saying that through the entire process, then yes, they're going to take a counteroffer because they're not unhappy with their position. What you're trying to find out is what is motivating them to make that change. Do they see growth, stability, more opportunity for advancement, better for the career, all these things at your client's company? Or is it just because I'm going to put 20 grand in your pocket, right? Like that's what you're trying to focus on.
I need another person on my side, and I've got a feeling it's not going to be Dominic, but I'm going to ask him. I'm saying that you have to hit the person over the head with the word counteroffer. If they come with a counteroffer for the same money or more, what are you going to do?
Well, easy. It's like, why did it take this long for them to even make that counter, or even allow you to even get that far down where you're even looking, right? So a good leader, good manager would be in there asking their team, like, hey, what's going on? Having a good pulse on it. And the reason I know this for a lot of sales leaders, they have a good pulse on their team. If if the person feels undervalued or this or that, or just is going to check the market, see what they can get, but they're still happy there. I don't know. There's so many different scenarios that have to play out, especially with salespeople that I work with.
If you want
hard
to answer to that question, I say, do you know, had I not called you and had my client not made you this offer, your company would still be fucking you and paying you $80,000 a year. The only reason you're getting a raise is because I contacted you and my client made you an offer. Had we not came along, your company would be happily paying you 80 grand and you wouldn't be getting any raise whatsoever. So why are you going to stay there knowing that they would have screwed you had I not called you?
Well, I can thank you send you a coffee card for that, Tom, but you actually helped me, okay? Even without having to move or change anything.
That's the one I use when I've done everything right and they still go after the counteroffer. Because you're working with people, no matter how much you cover it, no matter what you do, people change their minds and you can't change that.
Have you ever turned anybody around with that you'd still be earning whatever expletive deleted you use there. Have you ever turned anybody around?
Yeah, just did it last week.
Let's hear.
Yeah, I mean, I got to think about it. Go ahead, Dom.
No, I just did it last week. What he just said.
No, they were telling a story. It's not. It was an abstract. I know you're soft spoken.
About what he was going to make if you're only making 80 grand. We just did that to somebody.
What I love about the Workforce Agility Limited Series by Cornerstone was we talked to executives and customers all about skills. Cornerstone has a wonderful background in learning and development, training, etc. Their LMS is world class, but they've centered the business now, not just on that, like building upon that, but building upon how everything is moved to the skills economy. So check out the limited series called Workforce Agility, and you can get it wherever you get your podcast. And it's just a wonderful series where we talk to their executives on the shift of why, and also their customers that are using it. So check it out whenever you get a chance. Appreciate it.
And the guy
Tom just said.
The guy said, Dominic, if he makes me the same offer, I'm staying where I am. And you said, what on earth is going through your mind? You got to be crazy. They don't respect you. You have to twist their arm. Did you say that? Because that's what Tom essentially said. Did you do that?
Yeah,
No.
yeah, basically, yeah, they're screwing you. And they would have continued to screw you had I not shown up.
Tom, they would do that wherever I am. I don't believe that's a reason to leave a company. Okay, if they're willing to now boost me up to match your offer, I have every reason on earth to stay here. As long as
and you're not unhappy,
no other issue.
And you really weren't interested in the opportunity, and it was all about money, and you lied to me, so that's fine.
Okay, well, that's what Rich says. If it's all about money, they're going to make you cry. Okay.
Yeah. I'll give you two, right, that I think kind of hit the head. We had one guy that we prepped on counteroffer, and when his company made him the counteroffer, he didn't take it, right? And he called us back and he says, you know what? Those motherfuckers, you were right. They made me a counteroffer. We had prepped him good. Then we had another guy that we prepped on counteroffer. He accepted the job. He said, I have to go pray on it. He goes home and prays. He comes back and says, okay, I'm taking the offer. This is great for me and my family. It was on Friday. On Monday, he calls us and says that he took a counteroffer. And one of my colleagues, who I won't name, said, I thought you prayed on it, so God was wrong. That guy got really mad. It didn't turn it around, but I'm sure it made him think, right? Because you can't invoke, if you're a Christian person or a religious person, Muslim, whatever, you're going to invoke God as the reason for taking the job and then take a counteroffer. I mean, that's kind of easy to do that. So that just shows you, no matter what you do, people change their minds.
And my guy, he got offered 10% more, and they were like, what can we do? And he said, the time has already passed of what you could do. You could have done it before. I'm going. So it's again, yeah, you prep them the best you can. People are people,
Okay.
What we call that in sales is proper discovery. If you do proper discovery, basically what Don's saying, what Tom's saying, you prep them all the way through.
It doesn't work every time, but if you do all of that, you're really, really going to mitigate them, and you're really going to close deals, right? If you do that every single time, I know I called you, but we'll motivate you to make a change. Why is this opportunity better than the one you have? And it can't be money, right? If you do those two things every time, you're going to mitigate counteroffers. Because if you hear money, then you know counteroffer is going to happen. Unless
and the only time,
underpaid.
and I would say the only time that money is okay is when they're being so severely underpaid, and you're about to get them an amazing offer.
I said that when it was grossly underpaid. Yeah,
that would be the only time.
An obvious question here: what if the counteroffer is coming back with more than money? Look, we'll put you on this project. Okay. That's It's
the same though. It's the same conversation because it's already going back to you've prepped them. They've had all the time in the world to do this, and the only reason is because you've threatened them with loss. Is that where you want to stay, or do you want to go where someone values you from the get-go?
Yeah, I'm happy here. If they give me this, I'm happy. Now
stay put, animal.
I had one where a guy, they gave him 10% of the company to stay. And he stayed, right? I knew what they were going to do. I knew they were going to, actually, I didn't know they were going to do that. He was a structural engineer for a crane company in Fort Payne, Alabama, middle of nowhere. The company knew had they let him go to my client, then they never would have been able to replace him. To get somebody moved to Fort Payne is like next to nothing. So it was cheaper for them to give this guy who had been with the company 13 years. He was going to accept the offer of my client. it was cheaper for them to give him 10% of the company, right, and a raise than it was to find someone else.
I gotta admire them. They knew that they were in a position and they acted.
Yeah.
Did radical action. The final question: how hard is it for candidates to accept a counter offer after they'd worked with you? I think they feel a sense of obligation to the recruiter or the depends on the person. Yeah,
Depends on the person.
I like depend on the person. Yeah, that's a good point, Donna and Animal. It depends on the person and the relationship you have
that's
with the
when they
candidate.
ghost you. Okay, that's why they don't have the guts to look you in the face because they're embarrassed. I think that's
I
Yeah,
haven't
I
had
mean,
anyone ghost me for it, internal or external, but sometimes they feel horrible and like just awful. At least they sound like they do. And sometimes they're like, it's a better offer. I mean, I just gotta take it. And
I
they're
gotta
just
do what's right for my
about it.
family. Yeah. And look, I've had counter offers even when I've covered, but I can say when I forget to cover or when I didn't think it was important. I had a candidate who I thought was grossly underpaid. And I thought, man, I don't need to worry about anything. This guy's making 50 grand. My client's going to offer him 75 plus commission. He stayed. Like, and there was nothing I could do. And I didn't cover counter offer at all. I just assumed, right? And he was making 50 grand working for a rinky dink company and he was a sales guy, like 2 years experience out of college, right? I just assumed, hey, if I get him a $25,000 raise plus commissions on top with a Fortune 100 company, it's a no brainer. I never even mentioned counter offer. And he took a counter offer.
Thanks, everybody. What a way to end the show. It's a simple but good information. Talk to everybody later.